Voters in Representative Rich McCormick's Georgia district erupted in anger after the congressman tried to tout the massive federal spending cuts proposed by Elon Musk's non-department Department of Government Efficiency.
So you're budget, not the president. And you are doing us a disservice to set that down and not stand up for us. And
a lot of this stuff will be litigated in court. Okay? And I'm going to go and stand in front of you and take your questions and try to answer them as honestly as I can. Then let's do that, okay? But if you're going to just yell at me, that's not going to be an effective counter.
Look, I'm just don't yell at me. It's going to be litigated, right? It's going to be litigated. Now, what he means by that is the fact that yes, it is Congress that controls the budget, not the president, and yet the president has been, making all these and specifically an unelected person like Elon Musk has been doing all these unilateral firings, okay, with the president's blessing, and freezing all this money, this funding to these different agencies, shutting them down. He does not have control over this, okay? This is, again, yeah, you got to go through Congress, and there's no reason that it couldn't go through Congress because Republicans control Congress, but Donald Trump is a dictator, he's a king, he wants to be, and so he's just doing this all on his own because, frankly, Republicans are letting him. Republicans like Rich McCormick, okay? And not only are they letting him, but they're defending it too. They're defending how weak they are, okay? So now, credit to reporter Greg Bluestein for getting this video. They're posting it on social media because it's important. It is important to see that there is pushback to this DOGE agenda of gutting government services for the benefit of a very few. Look, the government services that they're looking to gut are Medicaid, right? That's one of them. Republicans with Trump's blessing are eyeing about $880 billion in cuts. They're not taking a scalpel to the program. Understand, they're taking a freaking sledgehammer, okay? And as I mentioned, it's just to pay for massive tax cuts for the rich, about $4.5 trillion. Congressional Republicans pushed a tax and spending plan through the House Budget Committee that would cut at least $2 trillion from public services. That's things that go to you and me, okay? Food stamps to the less fortunate, of course, in the Farm Bill, and you've got, from the USDA, and then you've got these Medicaid cuts, and of course others, because they still haven't come up with $2 trillion, okay? Understand that. They're looking to come after Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Medicaid's already in there, but now Social Security and Medicare, oh, but Donald Trump, he won't touch it. BS. BS. He is a known liar who is lying. Bullshit. Okay? That's it. Now, look, this is not about waste, fraud, and abuse. Okay? What they're doing is trying to kick people off healthcare and take food out of the mouths of children. All right? And now, that said, that's going to impact Donald Trump's own voters. Okay? So, some of them maybe are not so happy with this, okay? Now, speaking of cutting programs that Trump voters are relying on, McCormick then floated those cuts to Medicare and Social Security.
4 Democrats that said that they were willing to, we're not going to take it away from anybody who hasn't. We're not going to take it away, change anything for anybody who's about to get it. But maybe if you're 10 years away, you adjust it by 3 months. You're 20 years away, you adjust it by 6 months. You're 30 years away, you adjust it by a year.
raise the cap.
Lifting the cap when you have $36 trillion of debt and you're the world currency, you're the standard world currency, and you're paying $1 trillion of debt interest per year is not going to fix the eventual economic collapse of the United States. It's just not. It's just not. if you don't do something with Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, which is 75% of our budget is mandatory spending. 75%. Google it right now. 75% of your budget is mandatory spending. We have a 30% deficit. If you cut all of your military and all of your discretionary spending, you still have a shortfall. We are heading towards a cliff of where we will no longer be the economic standard of the world, which we've been since 1972, and you will lose your place in history, you'll lose your buying power, your interest rate will go up, and you'll add $9 trillion.
We're all trying to get through this. Let's be respectful while the Congressman speaks.
And that's how you know it's not going well. Oh, guys, we need to be respectful here, okay? Got to be respectful. Interesting. So I love how that one woman brought up, hey, why don't we just raise the cap? Which is about the simplest way of ensuring that Social Security continues to be funded without interruption, okay? Without reducing benefits or possibly missing payments, right? So now, that would, of course, involve raising the caps on taxable income or just removing it completely, right? For income subject to Social Security taxes. So, but the thing is, Republicans don't actually want to do that because that means rich people would have to pay more. Okay, look, in 2025, that cap went up to $176,100. Okay, so that's how much maximum someone has to pay into a year for Social Security, to fund Social Security. Now, most people will never make that money within a year, okay? They won't make that much, or even, anywhere near enough to actually hit that cap. But rich people do. Rich people hit it almost immediately. Elon Musk, by the way, if all of his income had been taxed, he would have been able to pay off all of his Social Security tax for the entire year in a minute. Richest man in the world, right? Then you have others. Alexander Karp, CEO of Palantir, likely pays all of his Social Security tax in about 19 minutes past midnight on January 1st. Hock Tan, CEO of Broadcom, and Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, could have paid theirs by about 12:30 a.m. Okay? It does not take long for the super wealthy to pay the maximum amount in Social Security, okay, in their Social Security taxes. You lift that cap, and suddenly they would be paying more, okay? In fact, in the first few hours of 2025, more than 229 U.S. workers earning about $50 million a year will have likely paid all of their Social Security taxes for the entire year, and then they don't have to pay any more. Get rid of it completely, they would fund Social Security up until the end of time. Now, the other thing that he talks about is he brings in the debt, right? Oh, we've got so much debt. We've got so much debt. Hey, you know what doesn't add a penny to the debt? Social Security. Yeah. It's in a trust fund. It's already paid for. There's billions of dollars sitting in that trust fund right now. It does not add to the debt. But you know what does add to the debt? Tax cuts for the rich. The Bush tax cuts, and then the first Trump tax cuts, and then these upcoming tax cuts for the rich. Look, these Republicans, they want your Medicare. They want to raid your Social Security. They want to gut Medicaid for poor people, okay? All to pay for tax cuts for billionaires so that maybe Elon Musk this year or maybe next year can become a trillionaire. He's already made billions of dollars since the election while unlawfully firing people because he has no authority and gutting the very agencies that are supposed to regulate him and his businesses, okay? Now, Republicans like McCormick, all they're doing is out there just trying to justify a further theft of public money that he's going to redirect to the rich. So, now that said, it is pretty interesting and actually kind of heartening to see that some of these Republicans are getting a bit of an earful from their constituents, who I would say likely did vote for Donald Trump. I didn't see a black person in that crowd, okay? I did see a lot of people that would stereotypically fit the definition of Trump supporters. This is a deep red district. It's a plus 30 Republican district. Very, very unlikely to be a lot of progressives and leftists and liberals there, okay? So I'm thinking that a lot of those people who showed up were Trump's voters, were McCormick voters, okay, who did vote to make America great again, and are now finding out that Trump, his entire goal was not to make America great again, but was to stay out of prison and to continue, what he started in his first term, which is trying to stuff as much money into his pockets as he can. And thanks to the Supreme Court, by the way, there's nothing to stop his blatant robbery of the Treasury. And if he decides to ignore the courts, what can we do? Look, I tried to warn you guys this would happen. A lot of people didn't listen. Okay. We tried to warn you about Project 2025. Oh, it's just TDS. That's it. They're not going to do Project 2025 because the American people hate Project 2025. In the polls, not very popular. So of course he's not going to do it. He's going to be held accountable by his own base. Oops. Maybe next time, if there is a next time, maybe not consider voting for the people, the leopards, who were telling you in the open, hey, we can't wait to eat your face. And maybe, I don't know, this is probably too much of an ask, but maybe you should try to listen to those who are doing their best to give you factual information. Even if it's not comfortable for you to listen to. I get it. Cognitive dissonance and all. But I think it's better to hear the truth than to find out that the leopards are at your door. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.